Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're digging into something that, well, our sources argue you're living through it right now, and you might not even know it. It's being called the third browser war, the invisible revolution.
And the stakes are, they're just enormous.
They really are, because this isn't about faster downloads. Tech titans aren't fighting for market share in the old way. They're fighting for something, well, way more valuable, your cognitive real estate.
That is the ultimate prize, isn't it? Our sources are calling this the brain wars, and it's all about how that interface we use every single day, the browser is changing.
Changing from what to what?
It's going from, a passive window to an active thinking partner.
Yeah.
So our mission today is to trace the 4 big phases that got us here.
Okay.
And most importantly, to show you how this new tech is built to give you just massive cognitive leverage.
Okay, let's unpack this. There's a great personal example in one of the articles, this idea of Ria's journey. It really highlights the difference between the search era and what they're calling the intelligence era.
Yeah, it's a perfect illustration.
So in the search era, Ria needs to research elephant habitats. She does a search, gets, 847 million results in half a second,
Right.
and then has to spend an hour clicking, reading, trying to figure out what's true, and putting it all together herself.
It's manual synthesis. But in this new intelligence era, she doesn't ask for links. She asks her AI browser a really complex question. Something like, give me facts on elephant conservation and 3 different story ideas for a children's book.
And the output isn't a list of websites.
No, not at all. The output is creative, it's synthesized, it's knowledge delivered instantly.
So I guess the one-sentence truth here is that old browsers helped you find pages, but these new AI browsers are designed to help you think, decide, and act.
Exactly. That's not evolution. That's a revolution.
So before we get into the wars themselves, we should probably define our terms. The whole architecture has gotten a lot more complex.
It has. And the sources use a really helpful analogy to make these abstract ideas a bit more concrete. They're these building blocks, and they all have a very specific job.
Okay, let's lay out that framework.
So first you have the traditional parts. The browser is just the interface. Think of it as your eyes.
Your window to the internet. Got it.
And the search engine, that's still the index. It's your map, a kind of keyword librarian. So far, so familiar.
Right, but the conflict, the war, comes from adding intelligence. So what are the next layers?
The next is the LLM, the large language model. That's the reasoning engine. That's the brain.
Okay, the brain.
Now, when you merge that brain with web access, you get the AI browser. And that becomes the partner or the synthesizer.
Yeah.
That's what gives you nice structured answers.
And then there's the final piece, the one that really, changes the game, the AI agent.
Absolutely. The AI agent is the executor. It's your hands. This is the software that can actually act on your behalf.
So the AI browser tells you the best answer.
And the AI agent goes and does the thing. It executes the entire workflow.
Eyes, map, brain, hands. If we keep that in mind, it really sets the stage for the 4 phases that brought us here. There's this deeply predictable pattern of dominance in this space.
There is.
Let's start with phase 1's big lesson, the page access war. This was 1995 to 2001? The lesson was pretty stark. Distribution is destiny.
Precisely. This was Microsoft Internet Explorer versus Netscape Navigator.
Yeah.
And, Microsoft didn't win because IE was better.
No, not at all.
They won because they owned the operating system. They just bundled IE with Windows for free, and boom, Netscape was basically irrelevant overnight. It was all about controlling the desktop.
And that led to the second act, the speed and standards war. From around 2004 to 2017, that one belonged completely to Google Chrome.
Yeah, Chrome was just relentless. They focused on speed, on stability, developer tools. They made performance the benchmark everyone else had to chase.
And it worked. They captured something like 68% of the global market at their peak.
And our sources point out, Google didn't just win a browser war. They turned the browser into, their most valuable piece of digital real estate, generating tens of billions a year. Distribution secured the data.
Then phase 3, mobile, was kind of a refinement of that, but all of that was just the preamble. Now we're in phase 4, the AI LLM browser war.
Yes.
And the question is no longer about distribution or data, it's existential. Who replaces search itself?
And the challengers this time, they're serious. You have OpenAI's Atlas, which is built from the ground up to be AI native. It has page-aware assistance and an agent mode.
Page-aware assistance, what does that actually mean for me, the user? Is that just, better tracking?
It's more about understanding intent.
Yeah.
Andy's Alice doesn't just see the page you're on. It understands why you're there. Are you
Right.
planning a trip? Are you comparing 3 products? It synthesizes information across your tabs instead of seeing them as separate things.
And who is the other big contender here?
Perplexity Comet. They've been very explicit, calling it a battle against Google. Their whole model is zero-click intelligence and autonomous navigation.
So they want to give you the answer and the next step without you ever having to click a blue link.
That's the goal. And what's fascinating is that the timing here wasn't just about AI getting better. The catalyst, according to our sources, was the 2023 DOJ ruling against Google's search monopoly.
Ah, okay.
That cracked the door open for these AI companies to challenge a giant that, until very recently, seemed untouchable.
A moment of weakness met with a huge technological leap.
Exactly.
Let's shift gears a bit. Let's talk about why this actually matters to you listening right now. The real measure of this whole thing isn't speed or market share, it's cognitive leverage. The sources use the CFO scenario as the main evidence, and it really shows the time compression we're talking about.
This is where you really feel the pain of the old system. So imagine a CFO. They need to evaluate a new payment automation platform. In 2008, the old browser era, they're searching on a slow PC, downloading these dense PDFs, manually building an Excel sheet to compare features.
That's not knowledge work, that's clerical work. They're a data entry clerk who's terrified of missing a key footnote.
A high-friction, 6 to 8 hour job, easy. Now, fast forward to 2015, the search era. The browser's faster, the links are better.
Right.
Maybe they watch a few demos, skim some forums. They get the time down to maybe 4 hours, but they're still doing all the heavy analytical lifting themselves. The burden is still on the human.
And now, 2025, the AI browser era, same task, but the execution is totally different.
The CFO doesn't search. They ask. A single complex query, something like, summarize the top 3 platforms for mid-market manufacturing, benchmark their SAP integration, and draft a decision note.
And the time drops from half a day
to 30 to 90 seconds. And the output is structured, synthesized, decision-ready intelligence instantly.
The cognitive load of just gathering and sorting, it's gone.
That is the very definition of cognitive leverage. The browser is no longer a tool you operate. It's a junior analyst working for you. Your brain is freed up to focus on strategy, on judgment, on the human stuff.
And this isn't just about browsing, is it? One source calls this the universal architecture of intelligence, a blueprint for all knowledge work.
It is. You can trace the evolution so clearly. Browser 1.0 just opens pages, static.
Browser 2.0 ranks pages. That's the Google era, searching and clicking through 10 blue links.
Then Browser 3.0 understands intent, personalization, context. It knows what you've been looking at.
But the future, that fourth stage, is Browser 4.0, reasons plus acts, the agentic phase.
And that's the shift from passive information retrieval to, to proactive execution. It's the difference between searching how to negotiate a contract and saying, compare these 3 contracts, find all the hidden fees, draft talking points, and schedule calls with legal.
That's where the junior analyst idea really clicks into place. And the productivity gains here, they're not small, are they? What's the data say?
The data is pretty staggering. Sources point to a 10x to 50x faster completion time for these kinds of research-heavy tasks. The economic impact is just unavoidable.
Truly. The market for AI browsers is projected to grow at, 32.8% a year through 2034, reaching almost $77 billion.
And this really is an economic reset, not just some UI refresh. That growth is fueled by a real change in behavior. Gartner is predicting a 25% drop in traditional search volume by 2026.
25%.
That's not a footnote. That's an earthquake for the entire digital economy.
Let's try to synthesize this by contrasting the old problems, the things we all live with, against these new solutions. First up, the most relatable one, tab overload.
Oh, we all know that feeling. You've got 40 tabs open. You can't even remember why you opened half of them. The browser just becomes this graveyard of, I'll read this later.
And that leads directly to information overload. Having to visit 5, 10 different websites just to get a complete answer on something.
It's that tedious copy-paste synthesize routine. You spend more time managing the information than actually using it.
Which results in the final pain point, decision paralysis. You get conflicting information from different sites, and the task of sorting it all out is it's too daunting to even start.
So the AI-native solutions tackle these head-on. Instead of all that manual navigation, the new solution is conversation. You just talk to it, natural language.
And context persists. It remembers what you were doing.
And instead of a page full of links, The solution is answers. Synthesized intelligence with citations, so you can check its work if you want to.
But the biggest change, the one that tackles decision paralysis, is the shift from pages to actions. Agentic execution.
This is where the AI agent really shines. It can execute these multi-step tasks all on its own. It's not just finding information, it's coordinating action.
Like, book the cheapest flight under 15,000 rupees to Bangalore for next Friday.
Exactly. Or take this raw data and draft a problem statement for my team meeting.
Right.
The system becomes your proxy.
The paradigm shift is really clear. The browser is becoming the operating system of human thinking, a cognitive partner.
I think that's the perfect way to put it. And if we look back at the three wars, the lesson is clear. The first was about distribution. The second was about data. This third war, the brain wars, it is all about intelligence.
So to summarize the stakes one last time, the winner of this war won't just be the fastest. It'll be the one that understands context, synthesizes truth from noise, and acts on your behalf to amplify your judgment.
And the sources are clear on this. You are not a spectator here. Every choice you make, every AI tool you decide to use is a vote for the future you want. This isn't just a browser. It's your cognitive multiplier.
So the big question isn't, will AI browsers replace traditional browsers? I think the question we'll leave you with, the one to really think about for your own work, is this. What will you build when your cognitive bottleneck disappears?